It's not an indictment on James Conner. It's not. James Conner.
He's doing what he can.
He's doing what he can do, and he had that big first week. But since week 2, they're last in the league in yards per game at 43. They're last in the league in rushing yards per attempt at 2.8. Their 19 yards last week of rushing was the fewest since 1970. So Le'Veon Bell is going to help that. There is going to be a come to Jesus when he comes in that locker room. Well, there has to be.
Yeah. And to that point, here's our Hall of Fame analyst, Steve Young, saying, I'm not so sure this relationship can be repaired.
He wants to get paid. I get it. Earl wants to get paid. Everyone wants to get paid. We give people, a couple of weeks, but half a season, and now you're going to announce 2 weeks from now, I'll make my emergence. Are we going to have a parade? Are we going to try to? I mean, at some point, you got to rise up as a group of people and say, you know what? Don't come. We're good. Don't worry about it. Don't decide when you're going to show up or we're not going to show up. Get in here and help us, or don't come. But come in a few weeks makes no sense to me.
Well, they're not good without him. That's the biggest problem there.
I always do laugh, and it's not to say that Le'Veon's handled this perfectly. It hasn't been a case study on how to go about all this, but I always do laugh when the quarterback scoffs at people for wanting their money. The group that knows they're going to get paid beyond a shadow of a doubt scoffs at everyone else for having to operate with the way the rest of the NFL does. And so with Le'Veon, I think saying the week 7 thing doesn't make sense. You want to come during the bye week. You're a guy that hasn't played football through the first, at that point, 6 weeks of the season. Having that time to get back into the flow with your team, with that offense, with what's going on in the building, I think is going to be crucial for him. And then the team not wanting him back or anything like that's ridiculous. They know they need him back because this is a team with a short window right now, with the main portion, the main pieces of it getting towards the end, whether it's contractually, whether it's Ben Roethlisberger in the twilight of his career that he's hinted at multiple times. Like, they see, and that's why the sense of urgency to get him in there was so strong at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree more with Steve on that comment. And as far as him coming back in the locker room, he knows he's going to have to talk to the team. And quite honestly, relationships that were good ones with him and other players may not be great anymore. But you know what? It's okay. Yeah. It happens. It happens. Everybody doesn't get along with everybody. If they were 4-0, this may be a different story. But they're 1-2-1, so it's not. They need him in there. Here's the one thing I'll say. And this is the one thing I will stand by. When a guy is out and holding out for his money, I disagreed with that O-line and doing what they did publicly.
Correct.
You don't to worry about another man's money. But I had an issue with Earl Thomas, and I'll have it with Le'Veon Bell. If you try and control things when you report. Okay, Earl Thomas, I'll practice when I want to practice. They don't have my back, so I'll do it on when I want to do it. If Le'Veon Bell says, I don't want to carry it this many times, or tries to manipulate the offense, that's when I'll have a problem. You hold out, cool. You're on your time. You're holding out for your money. You do your thing. You step into that locker room, now you play. If they want to give you the ball 35 times a game and touch it, then you touch the ball 35 times a game. If you're going to go back in that locker room, that's what will get me most of all. Once you get back in the locker room, you try and manipulate things.
Well, that's the interesting thing, too, because Jeremy Fowler said when he spoke to Le'Veon Bell, one of the things he doesn't want to do is touch the ball 400 times.
He won't now.
Yeah, he's assured that that's not going to be the case. So I think by maybe holding out as long as he is going to hold out, I think that's the end of what he can manipulate, right? Because I agree with you. Once he's in there, you either got to be all in and we're all in this together, or it doesn't make any sense for you to be here.
For what it's worth, through the most touches he's had through 10-game stretch in his career was 300 in 2017. So,
so that can still happen.
That can still get up there. And even with the bye going into that, it's not going to be as many right away. There was that process going into the first few games last year. That's just going to be in the middle of the season.